Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Jerry Porter.
And today we are excited to be rejoined by our old friend Heather Antos. Welcome back, Heather.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Of course, we haven't seen you since the Bantu Wind back in on the Mediterranean somewhere.
Somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah, with the Prel.
Yeah.
what a wonderful minute.
Oh gosh, we didn't even ask. Have you been able to work Rucksuckle into a comic book yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Hopefully.
I actually, it's funny. I rethought about it the other day, and I have an opportunity coming up that I think it might work. It's on a Post-it note in my office. I haven't forgotten about you guys. So
Oh, well, I mean, I couldn't be happier.
I keep my promises.
There's an office somewhere with a Post-it note that says Rucksuckle.
And that's all it says. So people, like, we have guests and tours come through our office, and they'll see, like, I've had people ask, like, Rucksuckle, what does that mean? And I'm just like, don't ask.
Worry about it. Move along. This isn't part of the tour. Well, it's awesome that you're here. You're going to help us out with minute 51. And minute 51 begins with Willie lounging expectantly on the bed, and it ends with Indy being strangled from behind by a Thuggee assassin.
Spoilers.
Well, hey. You've seen the movie, right? I'm sorry.
Once or twice.
There's one thing in this minute that I love, because I do it every single time I'm in a hotel room and I lay down in the bed and I do the thing that Indy's doing with, like, the flapping his arms up and down. He's looking kind of bored and just kind of antsy. I always just do that, and I don't. The only reason I do it is because of this movie. It's a completely unnatural motion, but it's fun. I recommend it to everybody.
Well, everything about this montage, I think, is great. Like the music and the way they cut it back and forth. I was a little curious about the time. It's 10:21 for Willie, and it's 10:18 for Indy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering, are they in some kind of temporal anomaly, or is Willie like Jerry always was in college and sets her clock purposely to the wrong time so he would be on time?
Or maybe it takes like 3 or 4 minutes for somebody to go from one room to the next to set all the clocks.
I was just going to say, I was just like, maybe that's just how far apart their rooms are.
Yeah.
Relativistic. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all relativity.
Well, I have two very important words for minute 51.
Okay.
Bed linens. At the beginning,
You're a sucker for bed linens.
I am a sucker for bed linens, and at the beginning of this minute, we see both Willie and Indy waiting in their own separate rooms and in their own beds. Now, ostensibly, they're each waiting for the other one to succumb to carnal lust, walk
Right.
in, and get busy. However, I ask you guys, are they each waiting for something else? And is this precisely, this is precisely where the bed linens come in, because Willie is very specifically lying prone on a green bedspread, and Indy is lying supine on a magenta bedspread. And I'm thinking now, okay, green symbolizes money and materialism, wealth, and Willie is lying stomach down as if to invite these things into her belly.
Are you implying that she's a dragon?
Yeah. She's
Well,
gonna eat a bunch of
that'll
jewels.
work. But, you know, I mean, check it. Like, green also symbolizes fertility and growth and new life. And so maybe she's considering, like, a new life upon arrival to the States. Because, you know, we've seen her be open to new experiences. I think, Pete, you pointed that out several minutes ago. You know, she was doing pretty well with the elephant, trying to make the best of the situation, you know. And maybe her crazy Shanghai days are behind her. Now, with Indy, we have, you know, magenta, and that signifies passion, vivacity, magnetism, and purpose, which definitely describes Indy. You know, he's fiery and he's driven when he wants to be, and I'm thinking, you know, hey, maybe he's ready for tenure at Marshall College.
That's all he's thinking about right now.
Yeah,
Yes, that's definitely all he's thinking about. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about, because when you look at Indy's magenta bedspread, it looks a little bit like if you stay at a Motel 6 or something. It looks a little bit like the comforter they have on those.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just makes me nervous, because I always, like, the first thing I do is pull that back, because you know they wash the sheets, but you never really know if they wash that.
Right.
Oh, actually, you do know if they wash that. The answer is it's no.
They don't.
Yeah, the answer is
Right.
no.
You know, I never once thought that until now, so thank you for ruining every future hotel stay I ever have.
Well, you know, I mean, that's Pete's the beauty of a mild anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to imagine you even stay at a hotel, Pete. I mean, you kind of tiptoe in and you, like, you know, peel the comforter back with the tweezers.
You go, nope. Sleeping in the tub.
Sleeping in the tub.
Well, Willie doesn't even actually have any bed covers. And does Indy? Like, they don't, like, that seems like that's the mattress. That's, like, you know, that's the cushion that like, it seems like that's part of the cushion, that green and that red.
Yeah, hers does look like it's just the cushion almost.
Yeah, she'll get comfy somehow.
I guess one of the main takeaways from this montage is that, you know, Willie and Indy are opposites. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, she's lying on her stomach, he's lying on his back, you know, but you know, the color scheme is completely different, you know, and I guess, I don't know, maybe we're supposed to believe, like, opposites attract sort of thing.
Well, we should ask Heather, because the three of us have beaten our heads together about this for 3 or 4 minutes. But what do you make, Heather, of this whole little dance that Indy and Willie are doing, and the scene proceeding up to this, where you know?
I think. Well, first of all, I should disclaimer. Willie is quite possibly my least favorite character in all
Weird.
Indiana Jones films. I can't stand her. Shocking, I know. She's very likable.
Well, these are great minutes for you, then.
Yes, oh, they are. They're great. I hate her. She's so much. She drives me crazy. But no, this. I had this thought today when I was watching the film in its entirety, and like she's like crazy. Like, she spends the film up till now screaming at him, telling him how much he has ruined her life and made her miserable, and then she's pissed off that he doesn't want to sleep with her. Like,
Yeah, especially after just inviting him to do exactly that, and then kicking him out because he was about to do that.
Yeah, I know. She's crazy. But speaking of, I just had this thought watching the scene, and this is a girl thing. So I don't know if it would come across to anyone else's minds, but I want to know how she's doing her hair while she's here. Because when we first see her in Shanghai, it's like super, super curly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she gets doused in the rapids in the river that they fall into. And when they get out, her hair is still mysteriously just as curly. So one would assume, oh, her hair is just naturally curly. But then you get to India and this lovely palace, and it's perfectly blown out and straight and wavy. And I don't think she has access to those type of materials here.
Well, I don't know enough about hair and stuff, but like, is it possible that like she had a perm in Shanghai and then it finally just got like washed out or something, or just the elements just finally blew it out or something.
It wouldn't work that quickly or like that.
Well, it's feathered, right? I mean, her hair's feathered in this.
Her hair is very
Yeah.
70s feathered, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first thing that doesn't make sense in this movie. They finally do something.
Well, you mentioned something interesting. You say she's crazy, and this scene may explain why a lot of people feel like that. Because she leans, like as they're going back and forth, and they're each getting a little more anxious about the other one not showing up, and she leans back and falls off the bed.
Yeah.
And when she does, there's another crashing sound. There's a crashing sound. It's a metallic crashing sound. And we heard it like when she fainted at dinner and fell backwards and hit her head. It was a metallic crashing sound. And I'm wondering, does she have a metal
She's
plate
a metal plate in her head.
Yeah.
It is possible.
My note for that is, here's one for Pete. At second 22 of minute 51, Willie dies. Severe head trauma, cerebral edema.
My note was simply, Willie fell down.
It's if you watch that over and over, which I have done, I mean, it's like violent. The way I don't know if that's her head.
Yeah,
It
'cause
hits,
it's like
it gets really
it's
funny.
like glass breaking sound.
And it's
her spine.
really It's almost as powerful as like those
Her
those like punches from Raiders.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we got some of those coming up too.
Yeah. Anyway, Willie may have died. I don't know.
Yeah, I like this.
Maybe.
We'll have to
Yeah, I
explore
thought
this.
you would, Pete.
So how many times does she die throughout this movie? We need to take a count now.
That's true. Like, she fell off the elephant. She fell backwards and hit her head on the anvil at dinner.
Mm-hmm. She fell out of an airplane.
She fell out of an airplane. John Brugan said the snake bit her.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she's died several times.
Yeah, she's done.
Well, now, Heather, I mean, are you saying that you don't buy the chemistry between Indy and Willie here in these scenes, in these minutes?
Shockingly, no.
Okay.
I believe Indiana Jones, I believe he would sleep with her because that's just the type of person he is. But I think for him, like, that scene was just more of a power play because she's been a terrible person to him the entire time.
Right. I would almost say that I almost kind of get the chemistry between them. Like, they could have pulled this off and it would have made sense. Like, if they had just, like, hooked up right now and stuff. But, like, with this, their pace, it just doesn't make, we've been talking about it for days, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, she's like, mumbling to herself, like, all the previous lines from the other scene. And she's like, nocturnal activities. But, like, she was actually way into that line in the moment. You know, she was like, she was totally going for that. And actually,
Though in fairness, we seem to think that Indy was pretty into the palace slave line as well. So
right, I mean,
That's
they both
true.
were. They're both, things are going along fine.
Yeah.
And I still don't totally understand what derailed it, except it's just Willie and the script said she had to do that.
Well, I mean, look, this whole thing is about as shallow as a baby pool.
Yeah.
And it's polluted with pee.
Right. Ew.
Ew.
Although there is one line, like and he repeats it here, or no, she repeats it in the morning. She's like, "I'll tell you in the morning," and that is the one, like in the scene, that's the one that set her off. Like he said, "Oh, I'll tell you in the morning," and he's closing the doors, and then she whips the door open. She's like, "Hey, stuck up, whatever," and stuff. So for some reason, that one,
yeah, that really stuck in her craw.
it's like she saw that it was about to happen, and then she freaked out or something.
It's a
Like he was
it's a
calling her
really
bluff.
weird line. It's like is he serious? Or is he just kind of like, ribbing her a little bit, like, well, I'll tell you in the morning. But he says it with a straight face, like, I'll tell you in the morning.
Right.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Maybe he was trying to sabotage it.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe he just prefers to get garroted.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like halfway through the thing, and
Yeah. Well, I guess if we're moving on to garroting, like when we cut between the two rooms, they both have really spectacular murals on their walls.
Yeah.
And they both kind of fit the theme of their rooms. Like Indy's room has the mural filled with all the guys with fake mustaches and beards. And they all look like they're smiling and like they're in on a joke that nobody can see. which we kind of find that that's what happens. And then there's a very sexually charged mural in Willie's room. There's a man who's fondling a woman's breasts while she seems to be handing a milkshake to another woman, and the other woman seems like she's eyeing her gold dress like she's about to steal it.
Oh my, a milkshake. How did you know it was a milkshake?
Well, it looks like a milkshake. I don't know if it's a milkshake.
No, please, Pete, tell us more.
Yeah.
Why is it a milkshake? Well, no, I'm glad you actually brought up that the sexually charged part, because the mural's not the only thing here. Now, if you guys noticed, Willie's clock is sort of silver and square, right? But Indy's clock is round and bronze, and I'm wondering if you guys, saw the foreshadowing with Indy's clock. It's one of those old-timey ones.
Restoration hardware.
Well, no, it clearly, it has two plump and succulent round bells on top. And it clearly resembles breasts, which may come up again in the next few minutes.
I have a clock like that. I'm not going to be able to sleep now. Be up all night.
Yeah. Listen. You didn't go to Restoration Hardware and buy the square one, Tommy.
I did not.
No, and they offer it. They offer it.
I got to admit something. I only just now, watching this as we're talking, noticed that the guy, is in the painting. What comes out of the painting. That he, disguises himself as part of the painting behind Indy. I was just sort of thought he came out of the shadows or something, but he actually comes out of a painting of guys who look like him.
And he fits in so perfectly. And I was trying to figure out when he shows up, because earlier when Indy first comes back to his room, he's not there. But at the beginning of this minute, when Indy's pacing back and forth, he's like, "Palace slave?" There's a shadow on the pillar behind him. So I think that's when the guy shows up.
Yeah,
but
I think
it does make me
continuous
wonder.
shot.
Yeah, how long he's in the room? Has he been in there all day? Is he
That's crazy.
just kind of back there giggling?
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, was the assassin at dinner tonight? What if those were his monkeys?
Oh.
That was the dessert. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with with the Temple of Doom, or
He's like the Rancor keeper.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a question for Heather here, and well, for anybody. But are Indy and Willie in the same league?
No.
That was
okay,
easy.
all right. Yeah, that was easy.
But we just declared that I hate Willie, so that's no one is good enough for Indiana Jones.
Okay, all right.
Except Marion.
So
Marion can be good enough for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Willie just got pulled up from the miners for a 10-day contract.
Right. Yeah. She lucked onto a plane ride.
Yeah.
Now here she is.
Okay. Tom, Pete, do you guys feel that way, or?
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't watch a Willie Scott adventure movie on her own, but I'm certainly going to watch an Indiana Jones movie. Although, I do hate her. I hate her character, but I do, as we've been saying, I hate her less than I did. And I think Kate Capshaw's charm goes a long way to me wanting to like her. And almost liking her in some scenes. Like even here where she goes he's not coming. I love that line reading of hers, where she's kind of like, are you kidding me? He's not coming. Yeah. She's got her moments.
You don't want to answer this, Pete, do you?
Well, I guess, I think she's okay. I don't dislike her as much as most people seem to dislike her.
But I mean, are they in the same league, as a couple or whatever you want to say? Do they? They're both good-looking people.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they are. I mean, they're different. They have different things, but she's at the top of her game in her career choice, and he's at the top of his game in his. And they're both successful at what they like doing. I mean, they're very different people. It's kind of like Mallory and her boyfriend on.
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Yeah, thank you.
God, Mallory and her boyfriend on Family Ties.
Totally. You nailed it, Pete.
That came like from way on beyond the background radiation. Way out there in the universe.
Well, how about this? Like if Indy and Willie were actually a couple, like if they were married and like, and you knew them, they lived on your block, would you be like, what are they doing together? Like, are they going to last? Like, I do not get how they, fell in love and got married and everything. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't see them together. Like, I think I don't think one's out of the other's league, but I wouldn't see them as a good match.
Yeah. No. I'm with you. Oh, we should everybody take a moment. I did some research. Or actually, I confirmed I confirmed something that I thought I already knew. This is the scene that did in Harrison Ford's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he was already
yeah.
He was already having trouble, I guess, from like riding elephants and stuff. And they were doing this scene, and he flips the guy, and he's like, "I'm done."
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he immediately flew back to the States. Like they didn't want to deal with doctors there, and he was gone. And so that's why a lot of the scenes coming up, Willie and Indy are not going to be in the same shot.
Ah, that double flip thing is really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that actually this minute or is it the next minute?
No, it's actually the next one.
The next
okay.
minute.
Well, then everybody shut up about it. I'm sorry I said
But
anything.
the Thuggee guy comes out, and this was sort of the standard way that a Thuggee would kill his victim. Is like they would
really?
they would get into your good graces, or else they would surprise you. They would sneak up on you when you weren't expecting it, and they would always garrote you. Like that was what they did.
Wow.
So this is actually good
accuracy.
history. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, when you garrote someone, what exactly is the tool that you use or the weapon? I mean, because you always think, you're like, oh, it's piano wire.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Whatever the hell that means. Yeah. I mean,
fishing
like,
line?
fishing line? I mean, if you're a garroter, where do you get your weapons? Like the music store?
Yeah, but they were garroting in the 1700s, so is it like sinew, or like what are they using?
Or was it one of those like a harpsichord?
Oh, maybe.
Like instead of piano wire, it was like a harpsichord. Isn't that what they?
It just coincides with whatever the most popular musical instrument was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like before a lute,
sitar string.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm wondering because everybody knows about garroting, and it needs to be a thin and like strong wire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is the purpose to cut somebody's throat that way or to strangle them that way?
To strangle them.
I think it's to strangle them. And they did it because it was silent. It was generally a silent way to kill somebody, and then you could hide the body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gross.
Which here, though, we learned that it isn't that silent.
I'm looking up the definition right now. So,
cool.
It's most often referring to a handheld ligature of chain, rope, scarf, wire, or fishing line.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so that makes it a little
good
easier.
call, Tommy. Yeah.
So there you go. Guitar strings, telephone cord, piano wire, cable ties, nylon. See, there you go. You can use anything.
Wow.
Anything you want.
Wow.
I can't wait.
Nylons.
This is going to be awesome. And Pete, you said it's like a silent way of killing people, and apparently that's true because Shorty is just out like a light during this entire thing.
Yeah. It's, used in 17th century India as an assassination device. Practitioners used a yellow silk cloth or a scarf called a rumal. So apparently yellow was important.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wow.
Because they're killing like cowards.
Well, I mean, if the green bed, meant something, and the purple bed meant something, so I guess the yellow scarf has to mean something too. I don't know.
No, totally.
All the symbolism.
Who knew?
Oh, that's what we're doing here. I mean, we got clocks with round bells.
Succulent round bells, mind you.
Yeah.
Succulent, plump, corpulent round bells.
I just threw up.
So by the time we get to the end of this minute, Indy's clock reads 10:36. So it's been 18 minutes since, well, depending on if his clock's running fast, but it's been 18 minutes since he was pacing.
Why would anybody put a clock in a scene in a movie? Like when you know you're not going to be doing it in sequence and stuff, and you know you're going to be cutting around it and everything. Like in Star Trek 6, where they put that giant clock, like big digital microwave clock on the front of the thing.
That's really strange. It's been 18 minutes, so they're 13 minutes past. I mean, that's a very long time.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense either, because he wasn't, like, the guy attacks him right when Indy is realizing that she's not coming over, which was supposed to be 5 minutes.
Which leads me to believe that the montage is taking a while. Like they're stewing for 10 or 15, like maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
Which, by the way, and we did discuss this a minute or two ago, it is really strange that Indy's like, I can't believe she's not coming. And you're like, Short Round is right there, 5 feet
What were they going to do?
Yeah, like, what are you going to do?
A little creepy.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing is creepy.
Yeah.
I worry about Shorty. Oh, and what does Indy hit the guy with? He grabs it's like a spittoon. Is it literally a spittoon?
That's next minute.
No, he grabs it.
He reaches for it in this minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
It ends with him reaching.
But like, that's not like a chamber pot or something, is it, or what? That's gross.
I don't know.
Trying to kill him. What?
No, I think it's just gross that there is one.
Yeah.
I just have the word cudgel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Because
good one.
we use that. Yeah, we use that in Raiders with Marion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a spittoon or a chamber pot.
It looks just like a spittoon you would see in the Old West.
It does.
And the guy would go, ding.
And I've never used a chamber pot, but the neck seems like it might be a little narrow for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, you never would.
You're just not trying hard enough.
Let's be clear.
Everything's a chamber pot if you just try hard enough.
Gross.
Next minute.
Yep.
Next
Sorry.
minute.
We've discussed it again.
Let's garrot this minute.
All right, fair enough. If nobody has anything else, we can certainly garrot this minute and turn it into a chamber pot. But before we do, Heather, what are you up to? Where can people get in touch with you and find your incredible Marvel works?
They can get my incredible Marvel works at any comic shop near them. But if they want to follow me, they can find me on Twitter at Heather Antos. Pretty simple. Yeah.
Beautiful. And Pete, where can people go to, find out what we're up to in our awesome, marvelous works?
Well, come check us out at IndianaJonesMinute.com. We've got lots of stuff going on there. We've got archaeology news. We've got evidence for why this is all Han Solo's dream. We've got a library that has all kinds of things that help illuminate different parts of the movies. Come check it out.
Awesome. I'm going to do that because I work here. I have to do that. And everybody else, please come back here tomorrow for minute 52 of Temple of Doom here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Yay!
I'm a conceited ape.
I like the way he says it. He's implying that she's a conceited ape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really weird, it doesn't sound anything like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just if you watch him say it, you're like, that looks like Harrison Ford from a completely different movie.
Working girl?
I'm a conceited ape! Just woke everybody up. Somebody yelling, yes.
Yeah, stop it. You're only thinking of yourself.